The Eagles are looking to build around a young quarterback, and they have a lot of needs, particularly perhaps on the offensive line and at wide receiver. You see some of the notable players on this board here, including Justin Fields, the 5th quarterback taken, and on it goes. But let's talk about the Eagles for a minute here, and it's sort of an interesting one as we look at it here, Diana. The Eagles clearly took themselves out of the running. They moved out of that 6th spot. They could have been sitting there to get one of the top dynamic weapons in this draft, or even to take a quarterback, and they chose not to do it. So what is your perspective on how they go about this here with the idea that they pick a defensive player or not, start building something offensively around their young quarterback?
Yeah, and I do think this is just going to be a one-year experiment as much as ownership is all in for this young quarterback here. I do think they're just going to give him this season to try to show that he is the future, because I know that they're not all completely sold that this is their franchise quarterback. But that being said, this trade tells you then most likely not going quarterback here. So where do they go from here? Well, if you take a look at Howie Roseman's drafts historically, right? So we know that he learned about this game through Andy Reid. And Andy Reid values lines so much, right? Defensive, offensive lines. So it would actually make a lot of sense for them to go this route. Do they probably need to build around this quarterback and get him some weapons? Yeah, look at these quarterbacks in Philly the last few seasons, going back to Donovan McNabb. They never really had a lot of targets. Obviously, Carson Wentz didn't have a lot of great weapons here. So this is going to be really interesting to see what Philly decides to do. Either way, going for the best player in this draft is what the Philadelphia Eagles need to do, because they have swung and missed over and over and over again in this draft.
All right, so then, Jeff Saturday, as I come to you, and I will grant ahead of time that asking you this question, I recognize you are hopelessly biased on the answer. But there are some dynamic offensive playmakers at the top of this draft: Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, and others. There are some outstanding offensive line prospects, including Penei Sewell from Oregon, Rashawn Slater from Northwestern, and others. If you're trying to develop a young quarterback,
yes,
are you better off giving him a dynamic wide receiver or an outstanding offensive lineman? Jeff Saturday.
Outstanding offensive lineman. The reality of our game is you have to protect your quarterback. I don't care how good all the finesse guys on the outside. I call them big skill on the inside, Greeny. Those big skill guys are what allows that quarterback to find the reads, to find that second look. We talk about all the time, can the quarterback get through his progressions? I can tell you when he can't get through his progressions, when he's on his back. So you better protect this guy. Guys like Sewell, Slater, Darisaw, all these guys that you're talking about, they're going to protect your investment. We talk about it all the time. That player, that quarterback is so dynamic in offenses in the NFL, you've got to protect him. And we do a terrible job of thinking because we give him another receiver, he's going to be a better quarterback. You have to protect your QB. Offensive linemen tend to stay in the game longer, 10-year type careers. Those type of guys, they stay in, they play from day one. Those are the guys you got to go get in the draft. All the flashy guys, you can go find them later.
Nick, as I look at this, he has 4 offensive skill players, if we including Kyle Pitts, the tight end from Florida, before either of the offensive tackles comes off the board. Yeah. McShay has the first one, Sewell, going 13 to the Chargers. Is that the right or the wrong way to develop a team and a young quarterback?
Oh, it's the wrong way. It's malpractice when there's a player like Penei Sewell available. Like, Penei Sewell should not go past the Bengals. If the Bengals go for Jamar Chase or another receiver instead of Penei Sewell, that is a problem. That is malpractice. I believe it. So, again, I'm telling you guys again, I just figured it out. I don't know why you don't want to believe me, but that rascal Todd McShay is out here April fooling y'all, because there is no way, either that or this is just some very aggressive subterfuge, because there is no way that you let Penei Sewell slide this deep in the draft. The Chargers would be elated if he's still there. So the way that I look at this game, and we all understand it, that you're looking to have a better quarterback. You want to get a better quarterback, as good as your quarterback can be. That's how good your team is going to be, right? Everyone agrees with that. The average QBR for all the quarterbacks in the NFL, when there are no losses along the front line as far as blocking is concerned, is 75. That makes your quarterback Russell Wilson. The average, when there is at least one loss on the offensive line, is 48. That makes your quarterback last year's Carson Wentz. You want a better quarterback? Get Penei Sewell. He'll make your bad quarterback okay. He'll make your okay quarterback good. He'll make your good quarterback great. That is who you want.
Quick thought, Diana, go.
Dom, Dom, just look at the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes, we will argue, is the best quarterback in the league. His offensive line was injured. He had no protection. He had all the weapons.
Got more greedy.
He had all of them. And
there's
look
also
what
the
happened
issue
there. They struggled. It just goes to show you, you need to be protected.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.